Hi, I'm Stacy Pingree, founder of Radiant Financial Group and the Legacy Wealth Podcast. And we are going to mix it up today. We're doing something a little bit different. It is the holiday season, so we're here in a different room in the house, basically. So anyway, welcome today. I have an amazing guest. For those of you that follow us and know about Radiant Financial Group, we just opened an office in Wickenburg, Arizona, and it's near and dear to my heart because it's also it's a cool place. If you have not been to Wickenburg or you don't know about Wickenburg, it's more than just a market. It's a way of life out there. I think it's a team roping capital of the world. You know, it's got some really cool aspects to it. One of the coolest things about it is that there's an incredible broker owner of Century 21. Her name is Laura Coughanour, and she is here with us today. She's really the soul of Wickenburg, I'd say. She's completely embedded in the community. And so we're super honored to have her today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm excited to be here.
Of course. A little bit about Laura, and I read these off because I don't want to miss anything about Laura. She's got a lot going on. She's the broker owner of Century 21 Arizona West, which is in Wickenburg, Arizona. She owns the commercial building that the office resides in at 2000 West Wickenburg Way, right? And she's known for Laura is a staple of the Wickenburg environment and the Wickenburg city. She's known for honesty, professionalism, and deep knowledge of the local market. She leads a team of agents, dedicated agents, and loves helping buyers and sellers actually enjoy the real estate process. And I think that's one of the great ways that we connect is we really care about people having a great experience. Yeah. So beyond the office, she's really involved in all of Wickenburg community and passionate about supporting a lot of local charities and a lot of local organizations. She's a past president of the Rotary Club and a current head of the Wickenburg MLS. Sorry, we're NMLS, you're MLS. But anyway, welcome again. And I'm just so excited to have you here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Glad I got the opportunity, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
awesome.
Of course.
You're doing a great job.
So we started working together. I'd like to just kind of dive right in. We started working together. I mean, it's been a couple years now. And before James actually moved out there, we have a loan officer, James Priggy, who's we lease an office out of your commercial building out there. And I mean, how long had you been working with James before?
He had come into the office probably at least 2 or 3 years ago when I think kind of just getting started into it. And he met with one of our realtors and brought him in, and we just hit it off and clicked and told me, what ties and roots he had in Wickenburg and stuff. And I'm like, okay, great fit. We love to work with local agents, and he was building his business. Loved that he had a family, and it's just been great ever since.
Yeah, he's awesome. Well, I would love to hear a little bit about you. Wickenburg has a definite vibe. I mean,
for sure.
It's so good. Being from Montana, I always feel when I'm out there like it's, I always say this when I'm out doing any sort of like education or anything with your team is it feels like Montana. It feels local and real, and like the people are just, they're not trying to impress anybody. They're just kind of they're just being people in the community and really care about each other. It's got a really kind of caring vibe. What is it about? I mean, tell me about growing up there. Tell us about your experience there.
So the rare thing, being Arizona native, I grew up in Cave Creek, which is pretty similar to Wickenburg. And as Cave Creek grew, we slowly moved our way out. Yeah. And my husband's job brought us there. Had always known about Wickenburg, visited, played high school sports there and those type of things of our small towns. But my husband's job, he's a highway patrolman, got stationed there. And we said, okay, Wickenburg's a small town, families all in Cave Creek, Desert Hills area. We'll go out there, we'll do our 1 year, and then we'll move back. And 26 years later, we're still there. And for all those same reasons, just kind of captured us. Love the small town, love to feel one of those, knew everybody in town. Kids couldn't get away with anything because everybody knew who they were. Yeah. Dad's a cop and all those things. Yeah. So it was just really a great opportunity. Loved the town, loved everything about it. People were super friendly, and right away you got involved in the community. Ran several of the organizations and clubs through my husband's job, and we just really got to know everybody. And we said, this feels like home. This is a good fit. Yeah. So decided, okay, well, we actually couldn't find a house that we liked. And a highway patrolman's salary wasn't always the best. Yeah. So we decided, okay, we're going to build. And, the idea of build a house, sell it, and move back. And we're still actually in that house after
you are?
Yeah. Oh. We've moved around a little bit, but back in, and now we've done that. So
yeah,
and stuff, and love it. And
you started your family out there. You've got how many kids?
We have 2 boys.
Okay.
And stuff. They're 24 and 26. And our oldest is still in the military, ready to come back. He'll come back to Wickenburg in April, and our youngest got out in July. He got out, and both in the Navy. So happy to see them getting out and coming home.
Yeah. So that's right. That's what one's home already, and the other one's still
still in California.
Okay. So what got you interested in real estate in Wickenburg? I mean, how did you end up getting into real estate?
We've always been involved with my family. My dad was in construction. We moved to Cave Creek. He was a plumbing contractor and then general contractor. So built several houses. They always had rental properties and things. So that's always been a part of something. And kind of I'll do real estate till I figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
And stuff when I grow up, what are we going to do?
Does anybody really grow up saying, I'm going to be in real estate? No, they just end up in real estate.
And my parents always said, well, why don't you go ahead and get your license for any of the properties we sell and stuff? You can list that and just kind of keep that as a sideline. But then decided, you know what? Wow, this is something I really enjoy. Yeah. So started with Century 21 in Cave Creek. And then as we moved out here to Wickenburg, then moved my license, worked in a Coldwell Banker office there for a little while, bought that office, then ended up with Century 21 and just continued on and haven't found anything, that I really enjoy better. Yeah. And it's been a great, career so far. Lots of ups and downs. Have seen a lot of things. Met a lot of great people along the way. Worked with a lot of great agents and stuff. And we've been together for quite a while. Yeah. My core agents, we've probably been together over 20 years and stuff, which is awesome.
That's real family.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I one of the things I really admire about you is, it's so hard. It's hard to lead agents. Mm-hmm. It's hard to lead anybody, but it's hard to lead agents because they're so individualized, and they all have their own, it's their business, right? It's their business, but they have to hang their license at a broker.
Yeah, it's a business within a business. I'm encouraging them. You need to run your own business, but I'm doing it under my umbrella. So it's hard for them to keep everybody on the same page and all their different backgrounds and where they're coming from and we have the gamut of agents, really young agents just in their 20s, just starting up to, experienced agents who've been doing it for 30 years. So
yeah. And that's what makes it. And so to keep that culture, to kind of build that culture in the office where you've got collaboration and you've got people empowering each other and educating each other and coming together to help each other. That's the part that I think is so admirable because you pull them together as a family, as a group. And to me, that's real leadership. So how do you keep it together? How do you keep them coming into the office and supporting each other?
I think a lot of that is being very, particular on who you bring in the office, realizing if there's, people that aren't with your same, values and ethics and wanting to do, good for their clients, and they do it for the right reasons. And they're not there just to make tons of money. They're there because they really have the same, feeling that I do. You're there to help people buy and sell homes, and to have people with that same mindset is helpful. They love to help each other. They're competitive. They still like to see their name up on the board, of course. But they don't get mad about it. They go, wow, great job, Wendy. That's awesome. They're like, okay, I need to go get 2 more listings because I want to be on my name on the board next.
It's motivating.
It's motivating. They're very collaborative with each other. Every time I have a newer agent come in, they're more than happy to help answer their questions. They'll share, they cover for each other. And I think, that builds such a great environment. They do like coming in the office. They do like sharing, what they know and help each other. And they're very supportive of everybody. So that makes my job a little bit easier and stuff, just to make sure I know that I can trust all of them to help each other. And, if there's any of bad blood, we either address it or, we get rid of it because we just don't need that. Life is hard enough. Yeah. I don't need to feel coming into your office that you have to fight for everything. We're very supportive. I'm very, giving and generous and supportive of them, whatever they need. And that's my role, I feel, as their broker, because I don't compete with them. My job is to support them, give them the environment. They go out and list and sell, and I'm there in the back end to help them.
Yeah, so you don't produce. I mean, you just do your own.
My own, maybe 2 or 3 a year, and it's good. Kind of keeps me in the game of what's happening, and I'm feeling like, okay, those are real world issues that they're having issues with, and things we need to address in the office and stuff. But it's
a full time job being the broker and keeping up with the things you have to do. And,
and the questions and stuff. But that's awesome, and that's what I love to do, and give them as many opportunities as they can in the community to get out and meet people, and help their business grow.
How much of the business, I was curious about this, how much of the business is Wickenburg? Because I know everybody can sell, we have clients that have kids and they have a family, and so you can go anywhere in the Valley, but how much is actually their local, or in that, because it's beyond Wickenburg?
I would say for our office, we're probably at least 80%.
Okay.
Wickenburg. And when I say Wickenburg, that also kind of is, Congress, which is 20 minutes north. There's just some other little pockets that we kind of all lump in to that Wickenburg market.
Yep.
But yeah, we stay pretty local. We do it at Prescott, and I do have agents that will do a handful of transactions, whether it's Sun City, Carefree, Cave Creek, they will go down occasionally, but most of our production and stuff is right in that Wickenburg area.
Well, again, I mean, I know how, everything you said, you make it seem easy. I always say, like, great leaders make everything look really easy. You make it look easy because it does flow from the top down. So the fact that you have that culture and the people that stay and the family and the way it feels, that's because it flows from the tops down. So you're doing awesome out there. We love it because I know as far as like your group, your message, your vision, and Century 21, at least your office out there is so aligned with how we look at like the community as well. Talk about Century 21. I know that it's, it's funny. It's like this legacy. Talk about legacy.
It is, 100% legacy brand. Jim and Diana Lessie started the office, and I think we were at our 53rd year.
Oh my gosh.
That same corner, that same location. I'm the fourth owner.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's okay. Really cool.
Yeah, and a lot of the agents, well, not a lot, probably two of them, have been there the entire time since they started their careers. And it is a legacy brand, and glad that we can carry on that same legacy within what we're doing. And that's been a really good benefit for us to have so many agents that have been with us for so long, and love Century 21. I love Century 21 corporate. They are a big part of our success too. They're such a supportive brand. I have great resources and stuff that I can always lean on them too if I get stuck or need some help, and all of the tools, systems, everything. They provide a great framework and stuff, so the agents have something, not only me, they have something else they can lean into and stuff. I know there's so many agents in town, they're like, we don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, well, that's why you need to work within a structure and a framework and stuff. That's great. And help build all those partnerships and stuff that we have. I know I can call anybody and have a resource and stuff, which is great.
That is incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
So
it's a national brand. I mean, it's a nationally recognized name. There's smaller brokerages and lots of very successful, small, even localized, just to Arizona or just to a community. And I mean, Century 21 has probably got to be right up there with Keller Williams, Remax.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, and awesome. They're they're a big brand, but so friendly and local. I have the CEO's phone number in my phone. I could call him if I needed to. We have business partners and business consultants and anybody resources and stuff, and just an amazing brand. And they run a lot like we do, our same culture. They believe, family, helping each other, helping the agents, being supportive of everybody. And, that really helps me to bring that into the office as well, because they know they get those opportunities to meet everybody and stuff too. So
do you get a chance, do you collaborate with other Century 21? I'm just curious, do you collaborate with other offices? Because it does give you an extension, a network of extended, brokers, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to the conferences and those type of things, Century 21 does a great job of, Zoom meetings and classes and trainings. And those are all even global, all our partners, in the other countries and everything. We can go on, I think probably 2 or 3 times a day, there's something going on where you can reach out and get some insight from other offices, other brokers, even, networks. I can call anybody and say, hey, can you help me out on something? This is what we're doing. How do I fix that? So there's a great opportunity.
Value add for your agents too, to have, and be able to, like, they don't know some part of the country, then they've got that resource, or the world.
Absolutely. It's great. It's been a great.
Well, so that's, it's like big picture in this, in this, again, going back, I want to boil it back down to Wickenburg. I want to ask you about Wickenburg, because I think, to me, I mean, we opened an office there with you, and we felt enough momentum and excitement out there to see what's happening in the Phoenix Valley. I mean, we're obviously pressing west.
Everybody, growth is coming.
Yeah, growth is definitely coming. So I'd love your perspective. I mean, what do you? I know you're really have your finger on the pulse of what's happening out there as far as the market goes. But what do you see coming in the next few years?
We've had a lot of growth in this past few years. I think that's been a hard point for the town. All the good things that they wanted to have happened. They wanted, we had Wickenburg Ranch, which is a huge subdivision, our first master plan community, come out there. And that really put us on the map as far as their advertising and realizing Wickenburg's there. We have a mix of so many different types of communities in there. Between, if you're a golfer, we have great golf courses and great resorts. We are also very much a horse equine community, which is where our roots are. And, we put that team roping aspect into it. Now we're considered team roping capital of the world in many circles. So, that is coming in. So you have, that aspect, as long as we're a retirement community and people who just enjoy hiking, biking, trail riding, all of those things. We have beautiful, beautiful scenic trails and canyons and Vulture Peak. And so there's all these mix of people and activities and things that you can do. And plus being in a beautiful part of Arizona and the desert and all that has to offer. So yeah, it's been a really big driving force to have everybody find us and discover us. Yeah. And you go through that same thing. And we're like, okay, we want you here, but we don't we want to keep our town, our little town. And I think they've done a really great job of keeping that small town feel, being protective of that and really making sure they're not getting too caught up in the growth and grow really well and partner with the other developments and things coming in. I've always stressed and think that's important because they're going to come anyway. Growth is going to happen. Don't fight it, partner with it, and make sure that you can work together to grow it the right way and keep the same, cultural values that they've had for so long.
That's just it. You can also almost help make sure that the values of the town are being, upheld with the new people that are moving in.
Build those partnerships, have a seat at the table. I said that's always so important, and make sure that you're working together. And that's kind of the vibe of the town. And I've never been in a town that is more generous for causes, for anything. So helpful. The police department, the fire department, everybody works together. The schools. It's amazing to see when you have an event how generous everybody is with their time, with their money, everything on all aspects. There's so many things that they have going on that we're involved with, and you're constantly amazed that the money's still there and they're still willing to help. So
they come together.
That's a big factor. 100%.
And you've got some really cool places. I mean, you've got some places that have popped up. I mean, Los Cab with their what's it actually? What's the full name of it? So I don't mess it up.
Rancho de los Caballeros.
Rancho de los Caballeros.
Yeah.
But I mean, we actually did a little mini Christmas event thing out there last year because it's just, really turned into a beautiful, I mean, you've got some beautiful resorts.
Beautiful resorts. And we run the gamut as far as property goes. Yeah. You have, manufactured homes and parks all the way up to multi-million-dollar estates.
Customs,
Yeah, great resorts. It's Wickenburg Ranch was a new idea to us, a true master plan community where it kind of set us back for a minute. I'm like, okay, that's so not used to what we're normally have with custom homes on acreage and stuff. This is not, but it's a beautiful, beautiful community. We have a lot of people in, and they're good partners with the town. So it's worked out.
Are they is it most retirees?
Majority, kind of a mix, a lot of second homeowners.
Okay.
But then we find that they move around a lot, that they're like, oh, they buy small. We're going to see if we like it here. Yes, we do. Now we want to upgrade, or I just want to move around the corner, or, they come, they love it here. And then grandkids or other issues and stuff pull them away. But majority of the people that were in there say, we love it here. We just, life changes and stuff that we have to.
Well, the master plan communities, they serve their purpose, right? They're definitely a product niche that is going to be helpful.
And we find a lot of them move out of Wickenburg Ranch, but move into Wickenburg. Because they love the town. They just want to get out of that type of environment and move into something with some more space and acreage and stuff. So lots of options for people.
Yeah, I love that. So, we talked about, before you started, you're saying that your father was a contractor. Is that what kind of gave you, so I know you're also an investor. You buy properties. What's drawn you into, well, you know how I feel about properties and, assets that kick off income or, the way you build wealth. So, tell me about that. What do you see? What have you done out there?
So like I said, when we first moved to Wickenburg, and my parents have always, built houses, and we've done spec houses and those type of things. So, felt pretty comfortable doing that. Yep. And it was really hard moving into a small town, and you're looking at what was available. Wickenburg was an older town when we moved there, and for what we could afford at the time, we're looking at some older houses, and I'm like, man, I'm just not willing to pay $70,000 for a 30-year-old house that I'm still going to have to repair. I said, it just doesn't make sense to me off of everything that we've seen and what we know we can do. So we decided, okay, we're going to go build our first house. And I think we were $100,000 and stuff. And
what year was this?
House. That was 99.
Okay. I was going to say, okay. Yep.
Dating was, that was 99 and stuff, but I just couldn't do it. So built our house, husband, stayed out there for 2 months, lived in a trailer, did everything we could ourselves, as much as we could. I love it. Because that was the only way. And, watching what my parents had done, say, you know what, you can build, that's how you start building your wealth. I didn't want to start in, a 30-year-old house that I know, okay, I don't know how well we're going to be able to do and sell that. So, like I said, we were only supposed to be there a year and stuff, but as time evolved and I said, okay, we really like it here. So we kept that house and then said, okay, well, I'm going to build my own spec. So went, built that spec, able to sell that one. Then I bought the Coldwell Banker office that I was working at in Wickenburg. That owner was ready to retire. So I bought that office. That was in like 2006. Great couple years. And then we all know what happened in 2008, 2009.
We all talk about it. And this
go right over it. Yep. Now go right over that. I mean, you did okay. Okay. So what do we do now?
Start over.
Yep. So we get to start over. And I ended up merging my office with the current owner at the time of the Century 21 office because we were both owned by the same parent company. Realogy, now Anywhere, owns both our brands. So we just had to pick what brand we wanted to be with. So we decided, okay, we're going to pick Century 21. He had a bigger location than I did. So we rolled my agents into that office. He didn't have any idea how to run the back end of anything and stuff. But I said, okay, well, if you have the space and we go your brand, he wanted to be the broker. I'll run everything and set it up in the back end. And we partnered at that point. Okay. So, and then as that recession happened, more and more of our independent companies and other agents, they just couldn't hang on. So we kind of became the lifeboat. And as agents, needed other place to go, we were able to take them on, kept them going. And we eventually grew that office. When Ben and I were running that office, we had 5 offices and grew it to 75 agents.
All in the Wickenburg?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, we had an office in, our first one was Prescott because that was a good balance seasonally for us. So we went to Prescott and then like Havasu, Parker, and then we opened an office in Anthem. And stuff. Kind of a pretty big triangle there.
Yeah.
Ran that for 15 years and it was great. Learned a lot. That's where I got a lot more experience in buying offices, acquiring offices, how you merge offices together, what that entails. So that was very educational.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff for sure. And then we finally, in 2020, after COVID and everything else, Ben was ready to retire. And then it was, do you want to take on this opportunity and stuff? And again, my husband's like, okay, we want to do this again. We just saw what happened. Remember? It's like, do you not remember 26 through 28? Do you not remember what happened? I said, yeah, but I'm smarter now.
Yeah.
I did my first one at 30. Now I'm 45. It'll be better.
Yeah.
It'll be better now. And stuff. And it has been great. So we were able to roll that in and
memory like a goldfish, they say.
Yes.
You got to kind of forget the pain a little bit, right?
And stuff. But that allowed us to do all the things that we've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
And stuff. And continue on. And, that happens. Everything's a learning experience for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, 100%.
I wish we had these, you're just saying when you were like 30, and I go back to when we were 30 and how, I mean, it just, you have to kind of go get your, whatever they say, you have to go get your scars and bruises and all the things because that's how you learn. I mean, failure is the way to learn. So, I mean,
absolutely.
Having some of those things that whether they're by your fault or not, and we're in a business where the market can dictate a lot, Right. I mean, again, going back to like commending you for even this last couple of years has been weird, right? From since COVID on has been strange years,
Yeah, I have to believe this last 2. I just keep looking like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand.
I know.
Oh, okay, that works. Okay, yeah, they're doing what? Okay, that shouldn't sell for that, but okay. Yeah, It's been very, very odd.
Yeah, the market's, I mean, I don't know. I can sit in meetings all over town, different broker meetings and talking to their agents. And it's like, some agents are just like, I'm in an absolute gangbusters moment right now. I mean, I'm just, business is coming on my ears and some are like, oh, this is the most dead I've ever seen. I'm like, okay, well, it's obviously like there's some kind of an element here of the effort, the market that you're targeting, like
what's happening.
I think there's some really opportunity right now. I don't know about what your thoughts are on this, but there's some real opportunity to like hone in on, niche markets and be focused. And like, I mean, I also, even with all the automation that's coming about and the Zillows and the automated lending, automated real estate, all the things, I still think that there's that human touch factor of expertise and really knowing what you know well, knowing what you do well, and doing it well.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think I don't know. What's your take on that right now?
Seeing that same kind of thing through having such a wide range of agents in the office.
Yeah.
My middle agents that tend to do well when the market's doing well, they struggle more in these type of markets because they don't really like, okay, what happened? Where did all the buyers go? Where did everything go? But my, more experienced agents, big referral bases and tend to be working in the higher end. Our higher end was great.
Yeah.
We sold more $1 million homes this year than we have several years past. And
It doesn't seem to get affected.
no, that one seemed they were able to roll right through that.
Yeah.
And that's been our biggest, I think, buyer pool is our repeat customers, the people who are investing, people who have the assets and resources to see, okay, there's some really good deals out there, knowing that we're cycling through and we're going to go back up. Maybe not as much as COVID, but we are going to go back up. So they're preparing for that and purchasing and stuff now. So that segment has been okay, really struggling in that middle ground for a lot of different reasons, rates and inventory and those things. So
stuff you can't control.
Stuff they can't control and stuff. So that's where we've seen that struggle. And that's where some of the agents, I think if that's where their market is right now, they're struggling and they're going to have to get creative and really get more educated, work on their skill set, their sales, prospect more, how they're doing all that. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on now is, okay, remember, this is still a job. It's sales. It's not people aren't just walking in the door and wanting to buy houses now. You're going to have to go out there and find the business, find the people that need help, find those ones that are just on the edge of, okay, I don't know what to do either. This market is confusing for us too. Where do we go?
Be the resource.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good info. And that's funny because, niches have been popular with you. I mean, for in our partnership, I know James has brought, he has the highest number of private loans, like private construction.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I mean, you got the higher end didn't really miss a beat. They're still doing what they're doing. So people are still building houses out there. And a lot of those are starting out as private lending construction loans that convert into regular loans. I'm just thinking through like the niches that are available, reversal loans are I know still happening out there, the private lending construction for sure. It just hasn't slowed down. In fact, it's sped up. It's been a big niche.
We're starting to see, that balance of, okay, for, now the 60-year-old homes that are selling for $350,000, can I build for as much as I can buy for? And even if it's a little bit more, I am able to have a brand new house versus an older house. So that with our pricing, at least where we are, is tough. And that first time buyer, we're tough. Our kids are struggling. And that's one of the big things we're trying to figure out and deal with the town is where we've lost that wealth building for the kids that are, the 20-year-olds. If they don't have resources and things, they don't have the wealth opportunities that we did. I bought my first house at 19 and was able to turn it for a profit and start there. Where when these kids now, they don't have as many resources and their prices are so high. If our starter home is $350,000,
and it still needs $50,000 of work.
It's just not. It's just not feasible for them. So we're really trying to figure out what that's going to be, and maybe that's not in Wickenburg, and it just might not be. And stuff. But we need to find some of those outlying areas and stuff where we can figure out how to house them, and not only at the lower end, but at the older end too. Our seniors are struggling too. They're getting priced out of some of the places that they're into.
Both ends of that market. You're right. That's the wealth, kind of the wealth beginner, and then you don't want somebody doesn't want to stay in a house that they can't. That's too much work that they can't afford, anymore because they're not working anymore, like the retired end of it.
So that's tough too.
What about? I know one of the things you and I talked about was the ability to help your kids. We talked about, being creative on that. And I know you and I share a lot in this, but help your kids get started. I mean, that is an opportunity for a lot of people is to help. I mean, listen, if the numbers don't make sense, it still makes it really tough to want to do it. But I think I am seeing a lot more creativity around like the family legacy wealth or the family wealth. Like, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll help you with the down payment, or I'll get you to a point where this thing is affordable because we should own property. As a family, we should own property and helping that be an opportunity. But I know even for you guys too, like maybe looking into something where you can own a property that's a rental that they help manage, or things like that. So you seeing opportunity there?
We are
tougher in
it's tougher in Wickenburg, seeing that they're going to get a little bit creative and stuff for things. I know my parents always helped us, which I thought was a great opportunity for us to get started. And we were just being out in the community and helping people and stuff, found a great deal. Okay, that works. And my son's going to need a house. Okay, let's buy that. We'll turn it into a rental until he can get here. When he gets out of the military, so that'll be next year and stuff. So he'll be coming in, and then, now our tenant wants to purchase that property. There's a pretty good amount of equity in there. So now, now he can upgrade. We'll take that equity and upgrade him and start putting all those pieces in place. But looking at that, I'm thinking, wow, how many other kids may not have that same opportunity. So how are we going to find them those opportunities too and get them started? And we're hoping to see that there's some, some programs are coming in and stuff that will help them do that, because I think that's one of the biggest opportunities for them.
Yep.
Is to get in and start figuring out. And even if it doesn't have to be big chunks at a time, if it's 20,000 at a time, take it. If you can, learn to roll that through and find people that will help you. And
well, agreed. Yeah, agreed. I mean, time is everything, right? If you can start at 20, time's just on your side. So it's a big factor in leverage.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to tell our kids now. I didn't get started as early as I would have liked.
Yeah.
As far as knowing what I know now. Oh, I should have taken advantage of those opportunities more often.
Yeah.
And my parents say the same thing when they got started. Like, when they offered us $1,000 for a lot in Desert Mountain when we moved to Cape Creek, they just didn't have the money. But they're like, man, I wish we did.
Yeah.
And stuff now. And I'm like, yeah, I really wish you would have.
Yeah.
And stuff. But we're finding those things too. I'm like, oh, okay, so much smarter now than we were. And going through all those, and you had to take some risk. And at certain points, I'm like, oh, I really wasn't ready to take that risk.
Yeah.
But try and tell my kids, okay, as long as it's a smart, educated risk,
right?
We're going to make that risk as little as possible. But there's going to be some.
Yep.
And you're going to feel some bumps. But I think it's going to be worth it in the end for you to be able to have something. And I know a lot of parents are like, oh my gosh, why would you help your kids? Why would you gift him so much money? If there's $100,000 in equity in the house, I'm going to give it to my son. And they're like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? I said, because they're my son.
Yeah.
And I want them to have something when I'm gone that they don't have to rely on, oh my gosh, my parents' inheritance. No, that they've built something and they have their own money that they can start with. And why not? I think it's a great ability to be able to do that for your kids.
I love that. But, and even more so too, I even more now, I'm seeing more, not even when you're gone, like they may need to help you.
Yeah.
So it's like,
100%.
I mean, this is, I really am hearing a lot more and seeing a lot more of like family, like the family dynamic here come into place, because people are getting retired and moving in with their kids, or they're, or care is expensive to do that too. So
I'm that example too.
Yeah.
Our original house that we built, we still had, because we turned that into a rental, and now we're back in it because we put an addition on and stuff. Because at one time I had my aunt and my great aunt with us, and they were helping me raise the kids while I was running business. And then they've passed on, and my parents live with us now.
Oh yeah.
And they're in our back guest house, and it's great because they can kind of manage things, and what other health issues and stuff they have, they kind of manage each other and allow us to go do what we need to do. And it's been great. But
blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%, because I don't know that we either have to pay that expense for care somewhere else, or they're with us and we get to see them every day. And that's been great. And
your mom's still active in the...
Yeah. Yep. She still has her license and stuff. Still comes to the office meetings and stuff, and still around.
I love her. She's awesome.
Yeah. So it's definitely been, a trait in the family. We just kind of stick together. Now I've asked my boys, do you want to be, what do you guys want to be? Cop, realtor, do you guys take it? They're like, oh my gosh, no, you guys both worked way too hard. But my youngest wants to be a firefighter. My oldest wants to go into construction. So there'll still, be that aspect of it and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
well, they're genius, because they've also got their military training and education and VA entitlement.
Yeah,
which
the
will
VA will be an amazing thing. My husband was in the Air Force, so we have his VA and stuff too, and that's been a great tool for us to be able to.
That's a tool. It is.
Use.
Yeah, it's a benefit for sure. I mean, for what they've sacrificed and the opportunity that they give to America, it is. It is at least one of the things I can say is truly, I love that. I love that benefit for them. It's people that don't really get it. Yeah, it's one of the best products out there.
And we told our youngest, he was in the Navy and a rescue swimmer, and they got bonuses for once he completed his swimmer school, he got a $40,000 bonus, and he's as any 18, 19-year-old kid. He's like, I got all this money. And I was like, you need to go treat yourself. And I think he bought something, maybe put down payment on his Jeep. I think that's what we did.
Yeah.
I said, but I want you can take, 10,000 of that or 5,000 of that and do what you want. Yeah. But I want the rest you need to put away.
Yeah.
And after I explained some things to him, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. So he took his first initial investment. So I'm like, just leave it there, let that ride, and, start by the time you're ready. Just leave that alone. You're going to work. You're going to do, what you're going to do. You don't need that money right now. When we go to buy a house, it'll be there. Use your VA loan. We'll go find you a piece of property. You can do what you need to do. You can use that if you need to. But if you start now, don't do what we did.
Yeah.
Because we did not start saving like we should have when we were 20.
Yeah.
And stuff. We kind of got that late start and piled everything in our 30s and 40s. But man, if I would have started at 20, all that looking back.
I know. Everybody's got a different path,
Yeah.
and they'll have their own journey too, which I know
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to watch them make mistakes.
Yeah.
But you have to do it.
But I'm
Right?
like, okay, yeah, that was fine. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. It's kind of what I look at.
Exactly. Well, I love it. That's just, I love that the way you brought your family in, because I do feel like, even though they'd say they don't want to be, you wait, I'll bet you anything that, they'll end up with property, they'll end up in this business, they'll have their license, you know what I mean? It just, because they watched you do it and they see where it makes sense. I mean, they you've been successful, you've had success, and it's been a career for you you pour so much into it. And it is funny, I said you made things look easy, but isn't that funny how the family's like, well, it made it look easy. What? This has been nights, weekends?
Yes.
Because they're
She's on her phone all the time.
Yeah.
We're on a cruise. She's working all the time. And
I know,
but I tell them I don't have hobbies. This is what I do because I love what I do.
Yeah.
And
Love
stuff.
to work.
Yeah. Love to work. And
I'm not ashamed of
that's
that.
fine. No.
Yeah. No.
I said 100%.
Yeah. If you want to call somebody who loves to work, call Laura.
Yeah. Exactly.
She's going to answer her phone.
Yes. No. We love it.
One thing that I do love too, I love the way you look, you've always, you want to take the friction out of the process. You want this to be a great experience for clients, and you give your agents those tools, right? You make sure that they're educated. You and I just share a lot of those values about education, empowerment, making sure that the customer experience is top notch, level 10 through the roof, that you're getting business by referrals. That's just how it works, and especially in a small community, right? Because
you have to.
Yeah. So, you guys are the name out there, but what do you look for in partners? Because I know you've got title and you've got, we help when we can. Nothing is like officially, we're not partners, but we're partners in the sense of like core values line up and we like working together, right? We really enjoy working together. What do you look for? How do you pick those?
So when I bought the building that we're in now, it has other suites on the other side. And I was like, you know what? I really want to make a complex of partners that one-stop shop, that if you come to our office and you have questions about title, because we don't have all the answers on title. I don't have all the answers when it comes to lenders. That's why we have our partners, and how nice it would be for them to be in one convenient spot that you can just walk over and get the answers to your questions. So that was kind of the thought process. Okay, let's go find those partners. Yeah. And once,
you got home insurance, you got home insurance in there. You've got financial advising. It's actually really is incredible.
Yeah, it's come together pretty well. We
have
an Edward Jones office in there. They've been there going on their second year now. James has been in there now for I think a year at least. But he was in our office.
Had a 1 year anniversary. Yep.
And he's in their office and stuff quite a bit. We have Tanner Barnes with Farm Bureau Insurance. Yeah. He's there. And then in probably May of this year, we had a Blue Ink Title come in there. Drake's Title was in there before. Drake's left Wickenburg. And then we said, I really want another title company. I think it's really important that we have one. And we moved Blue Ink in there. So really we have everybody there. And I was particular on who we wanted in there because those same things, the same values, the same morals, work ethic, customer service, 100%. Blue Ink Title, Krista Green is our escrow office there. She's amazing. She's the one that you can call her at 7:00 at night. On the weekends, she is there. She sits down with your client. She explains everything. We'll do everything that she can to make sure the transaction is good, that you're happy. And, she's pulled some business from other companies stuff too, because they've said, what, we like that you take your time and you sit down and you talk to us, and we can just come in and have a cup of coffee and talk about our situation, and you'll help us. So she's been great.
That's a huge resource.
Yeah. And, if hey, can you just check this out for me? Something isn't right. We can't figure this out. I sent one of my good friends, clients over there. She just inherited some property. It was a mess. She's like, what do I do? I said, you need to talk to title and make sure how everything looks now, how you transfer. And Krista spent an hour with her, just getting her straightened down and say, go to the court and do this. This is what I need here. And that's the kind of stuff that we look for, and the kind of personalities and work ethic and things. So Blue Ink's been a great, partner for us. James is awesome. I know, even with his crazy life and his 4 kids, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm coaching football and, all this stuff. And he still has time. He still comes. He sits in my office. He was just there this morning. Yeah. Chat, do you need anything? He spends time with the agents. What do you need? Let me help you. And, I think that's a great partner and stuff. So we're hoping to see, he'll continue to do really well and stuff, because he has that same work ethic and putting people first and making sure they're taken care of, and we work together.
Yeah, it's funny. Aligning those become an extension of your family that you created, that you work so hard to have topped out,
Yeah.
So that you dripping on, I really appreciate you dripping your love and generosity on him.
Well, and it's trust. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that I know I can take any of my clients there, my agents, and trust that they're going to get good service and that I can leave them there and know they're going to get their questions answered and leave there feeling good about their transaction and that it was done. And yes, things go wrong, sideways. It's a very frustrating process and can be, but if you know that I know we can get it worked out. We're going to figure it out. And at the end, everybody's like, okay, yeah, that was okay because they're the trusted partners that they are.
Solution minded in the thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, well, Laura.
Yes.
45 minutes flies by.
I said, they can just keep talking forever.
Once we get going, yes, no problem. I want to say thank you because I do want to thank you also really for pouring into my team and just like you have. I mean, you've been amazing resource and influence for James out there in Wickenburg and for also, being such a support for that community because I just love it and admire it and for being here today.
Well, thank you so much. I admire you for all you do. And, and all our conversations they're inspiring me to do more. I'm like, okay, if Stacy can do it, I can do it. If James can do it, I can do it. Okay. Get yourself back. It's okay. Because there's still, good opportunities and ways to build businesses. And you just got to keep going and get up every day and keep doing it. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, everybody. So Century 21, Laura Coughanour, and you are going to find all of the information to connect with her in the show notes below. There's actually some really cool links because Century 21 has a lot of really great, just the marketing that they rolled out this last year. I loved it.
Yeah,
the joy of
awesome. Yeah.
The Joy of Home. Is that still this year?
Yeah. Joy of Home.
The Joy of Home
stuff. And they brought back some of our legacy pieces and stuff too. So,
which is really cool. It's like this, vintage-y type thing. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today and we'll see you next time.